You've heard of apple fritters, but have you ever heard of an apple fritter cake? That's what I'm making today. I'm Tess, and welcome to my kitchen. It's apple season here in Pennsylvania, and this apple fritter cake sounds yummy on this chilly day. So let's get started. I have 2 Granny Smith apples. You can use any apple that you like. Dicing into bite-sized pieces and adding to my pan. This is going to be the apple filling layer of the cake. Adding some water, sugar, cinnamon, and cornstarch. I have my heat on low and going to stir and cook the apples for about 5 minutes, or until they start to soften and the sauce thickens. Then I'm going to remove from the heat and let it cool until I get my other ingredients ready. Now I'm making the sprinkle topping. I have a half a cup of brown sugar and I'm adding a half a teaspoon of cinnamon and a couple grates of nutmeg. Be careful, fresh nutmeg has a powerful pungent flavor and a little goes a long way, but it does give another dimension to the flavor. Giving that a good mix around and setting to the side. Next is the cake batter. I have some softened butter and adding some sugar. Giving that a whisk with my hand mixer until incorporated. And then I'm adding applesauce and vanilla. Another mix, and then adding 2 eggs, adding 1 at a time and mixing well. The recipe and list of ingredients for this delicious apple fritter cake is in the information box below. If you like this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Feel free to share this video on your favorite social media site. You can also find me on Facebook and Tess Cooks For You blog. Now I'm going to mix the dry ingredients. I have 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt, and cinnamon, giving that a whisk to make sure everything is well combined. Now I'm mixing about 1/3 of the dry ingredients to the wet and stirring well. I'm adding a cup of Greek yogurt to this recipe, but adding a half a cup for now and mixing. You can use sour cream. Next is more of the dry ingredients. The other half a cup of yogurt, and finishing with the rest of the dry, just mixing until combined. I have my oven preheating to 350 degrees. I have a well-buttered and floured 9x13 baking dish. You can use a smaller pan if you want a thicker cake. Just keep an eye on it and adjust your baking time. First, I'm layering out half of my cake batter, just smoothing out to make an even layer. And now I'm adding my spiced apples. Just add by spoonfuls and spread evenly, trying not to disturb the cake batter below. Just take your time, there's no rush. Now I'm sprinkling about 2/3 of my brown sugar, cinnamon, and nutmeg mixture over the apples. This cake is smelling good already. And the rest of the cake batter goes on top, just scooping out in piles and spreading out with my spatula. This is easier with a smaller pan, but just take your time. It spreads out nicely. No right or wrong here. And now goes on the rest of the brown sugar sprinkle, baking at 350 degrees for 45 to 55 minutes, or until the toothpick inserted into the center of the cake comes out clean. And we're not done yet. In the meantime, I'm going to make the yummy glaze that goes on top. I have 2 cups of powdered sugar and I'm adding 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract and some milk. The recipe calls for 6 to 7 tablespoons of milk, and I'm adding the milk slowly to get the consistency that I want, making sure that I stir well in between the milk additions. And this is what I'm looking for, a flowing ribbon consistency. I'm just setting that to the side until the cake is done baking. And the kitchen smells wonderful. This is the cake right out of the oven. The toothpick came out clean, and now is the time to add the apple fritter cake glaze. Just pour the glaze right over the top and spread out evenly with a spoon or knife. It's important that you do this when the cake comes right out of the oven, so the glaze can soak into the cake while it cools and makes a nice hardened, flaky, delicious sugary crust on top. Letting the cake cool, and I'm ready for a slice. And this is what I've been waiting for. A yummy piece of cake with lots of apples, flavored with cinnamon and nutmeg with a delicious sugary glaze. Just like an apple fritter. I hope you give this delicious apple fritter cake recipe a try. I know you're gonna like it. And until next time, enjoy. Thanks for joining me here at Tess Cooks For You. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe for future recipes and videos. I appreciate all my viewers, and until next time, much love.